Okay, let me get squared up here. I thought I must have moved something. I think I just might be a little off camera here and there, but I'll try to keep my eye on that. What we're creating tonight is an art journal page. Okay, I have my camera upside down somehow. Let's see if I can switch that real quick. Sorry for the motion, guys. Not sure what I did there, but let's get that fixed. Okay, so we might be off a little bit. I'll try to keep my eye on that and make sure that it doesn't happen too much. I don't want to go too much further or it'll be out of focus, things like that. What I'm working on today is I just wanted to change it up and not do another layout for this month. So I thought I'd play with my art journal a little bit. I've been doing that a little bit more lately, just taking some time. Here's another page I was working on. This is also with the gemstones underneath. And then just some doodling. It's obviously not done, but it's just something I was playing with. I like to play with the gemstones in my art journal because they dry really fast. And they're smooth and they can add texture, but at the same time you get a lot of color with a very little amount of paint. So as you can see, my book is getting kind of chunky and it's not, it's not really done. So thinner product is a good thing. Without being so wet as a mist. So that's just my thought process there. I would like a couple more colors, but I do love the colors that we have. I actually used every color of gemstone that we have on this particular page. So I used garnet, and it's a really deep red. You'll see it when I get it on there. I used the rhodolite, which is the pink, emerald, which is the green, amber, which is the yellowish, orangish gold color fluorite, the purple, and blue topaz, which is obviously blue. The one mist that I did use sparingly was Raider, because, well, everything's better with a little bit of black ink. So I hate to do this, but I'm going to have duplicate pages in my book, but that's okay. So I didn't gesso this. I didn't do anything with this because I'm using the paints. They'll take right to the page, so it'll be fine. When I'm using the mists sometimes or things like that, I use a little bit of gesso just so the paper holds up a little bit better. But for this instance, I didn't. Trying to give the camera something to focus on. I'm not sure why it got so dark on me there. Okay. I think it'll pick up once I get some color going. Okay. So I went ahead and I started with amber. And I just dabbed a little bit on. I'll probably take some of that off actually because it's going to move around so well. And I just used an old credit card. Let me work this around. Woo! Well, now that page might stick together a little bit. As you can see, it doesn't really matter too much where you get it. I wanted it to be, again, smooth, so I'm just working it around the page with the card. No rhyme, no reason, just covering up the page a little bit, getting some color on there. Okay. Keeping my motions vertical and horizontal. I'm not going diagonal. I'm not going crisscross. I'm not going in circles. Keeping my motions in one way. Okay. And a little bit more over here. Not a lot, just a little. I'm trying to get it to be a very thin coating. Okay. There you go. Now, you can tell that this was just real quick. And you can see as I'm dragging the card across, this has already started to dry. This is one of the main reasons why I really love the Gemstones in the art journal. Okay. And just to be safe, so I don't want my colors to get too muddy, okay. Next I'm going to add a touch of blue. Just a small amount. I'm sorry if I have to yell at my children, it's because they are refusing to stay in bed tonight. And Daddy is in Brazil, so I can't count on him to yell at them tonight. So I do apologize if I have to scream at my children. And judging by the fact that my eldest just got up again, thanks to the nanny cam, I may have to scream at her. Not at you precious people watching. Okay, continue the same process, moving the blue along. Trying to keep it separate because I don't want it to get too muddy. I don't want the colors. They blend well. They're transparent to some degree. So you're still going to get that color that looks fine on top of each other, but I really want the colors to be pretty independent of each other. Was the look that I was going for here. Okay. And I'm going to add some green in now. And this one I'm going to add over to here on the side, and I'm going to dip into just so I have a little bit more control. Now I do want some of the pieces of the page to remain white. And you'll see why later. Not too much, just a little bit here and there in between colors. Not too much though, just a little bit. I think I am going to go back in and add a little bit more blue though. I think I thought I had more on there then. I did. And now that I can't see what the other page looked like because it's, you know, I guess I could flip. So we're getting there. I don't want that to stick together later. Okay. And see how that got a little thick, that dried before I moved it. So that's how quick this paint dries. You want to move it. Okay. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to add some blue in. Oh, that's going to be too much. Too much, too much, too much. Okay, you just want to keep adding colors in until you're happy with the amount of white space you have versus the amount of color. I'm sticking with the tones of green, blue, and yellow for the background. Just because there's so much there's so many other colors being added in after the fact to keep the background to 3 that blend well together. That work on the color wheel is a good thing. Okay. I'm going to get a little strategic with my placement now, even more so, and then I'm almost done with this, and we'll move on. Okay. Just want the center of the page to be the center and the edge, the outer, very outer edge. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm going to wipe off my card so it's not gunked up for next time. Okay, similar. Okay, so next I'm going to add these fun gears, and these gears are off of one of our stencils. I'm working with 4 stencils tonight. The one that this gear is off of is TikTok. So it's right here. Okay. Kind of see that a little bit. Okay. And for this I just used a sponge. I didn't want to use a palette knife. I wanted to get a little bit of texture. Wanted it to be a little bit bumpy. I used the purple for this. I'm going to dab some over here on the side. You can see, well, you can't see because I'm off camera, but I'm just going to put some on a sponge. This is just a makeup sponge because that's what I had. And I'm just dabbing. Let me get on camera. Okay, up in the corner there. I'm just dabbing because I want the paint to be a little bit thick. But I did, again, just didn't want to use a palette knife. Okay. Dab. By using the sponge, I'm going to get the texture of the sponge. I just kind of like when, back I'm going to date myself a little bit here. Back when, sponge painting was all the rage and everybody had all these bumpy walls that they had to, sand when they realized that that was a bad choice. Well, at least I did. But But for my art journal, I quite like it. My first laundry room, I did that too. Okay. Got a little bit messy there. I lifted it up a little bit, but that's okay. I always like to work in threes whenever I have the ability to. I find that that's the best way for me. It makes me feel balanced for whatever reason. Okay. Oh, that kid is out of bed again. She's pushing her luck tonight. Here I thought I had too much paint down there. Just keep dabbing. Dab, dab, dab. The one problem with using a sponge is you do lose a little bit of paint to the sponge. That and, you know, they're kind of a pain to try and wash out. That's why I use the little makeup sponges, because if I lose a makeup sponge, I'm not too sad. And neither is my pocketbook. Okay. So now you can see why I kind of wanted the white, because the purple really looks purple on the white, but on the blue and the green it looks a little bit darker, almost a black. Okay, I'm just going to wipe a little bit of this stencil off just for a second here. Mainly because I'm using it again, so I'm just going to spray it with some water real quick, because I left my baby wipes upstairs because I was out and I had to buy some. That's okay. There we go. Okay. Now this is a little bit thicker, and I'm going to do stenciling on top of that, so I want to make sure that I just dry this just quick little once over. Okay. Okay. Just to make sure that's dry before I stencil the next colors on top of it, I'm going to go ahead and use some mist. Get some of my misting on. Now, because I've painted this, I've protected the paper, so the mist isn't going to sink. It's not going to soak in right away. So it's going to give me some time to move and play a little bit. First, I used our number stencil, which is Got Your Number. And I was just trying to use this as the background a little bit. So I'm just going to spray through it. Okay, you're going to see it's going to really pick up on the white edges, and then on the other parts it's not. I'm going to push it into the paint slightly with the heat gun, and I'm going to dab it off. Okay, I'm going to flip my stencil and do it again. Again, I'm going to push the paint, this mist in, and then wipe it off. Whoops. Well, that one I didn't push it enough, but that's okay. Okay. Again. And dab off. dab off, dab off. Okay. Push in, heat in. Okay. And dab off. A couple times I've gotten some splatters on here, which is fine because I was going to go in and add some splatters later. So I'll just take some off of the stencil now. Since I got all that Raider on there, I might as well not waste it. I'm just rubbing it across my stencil and flicking with my fan brush. Okay. Flick, flick, flick. Okay. Let me dry these in a little bit. I want the splatters to stay splatter, so I don't want to move them around too much. So we're going to push them in. I'm going to use one more stencil, and then I will get back to some paint. Okay. And dab. Okay. Everything's dry, good to go. Back to our TikTok stencil, and now I'm going to add some of these girish clock in. Okay. And just shake some of that off onto, there we go. Here's a fun chevron. Let's just push that right through with our finger because we still got some mist on there. Okay. Okay, there we go. Give this a little bit of a dry. And a dab. I know some people use kitchen towel. I just use a regular old towel. Okay, so here's where we're at. Here's my page. Okay, pretty similar so far. I'm going to go ahead and add some pink and red in. And these two are mixed in the splatters, as you can see. Now I'm going to mix these using the sponge as well. I used mostly pink with just a slight bit of red, just to add a little bit of, I don't know, just a little tiny bit, just to change it up a little bit, just a little depth. And I wanted to use every single color. because I don't know why. Real specific there, huh? And my makeup sponge I put in the wash, so okay. Got a little bit of another one. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding my pink. And this stencil that I'm using here is another one of our stencils, and it is such a drip. Okay. So you can see where the coloration spray really grabbed the white paper, and where it's on top of the paint, it's a little fainter. It was able to be wiped off or pushed in, but not completely a solid image. And that's why I wanted to leave so many white spaces, so I could have that different tone effect without doing any shadowing or changing the paint, with it all just being the same paint. But by leaving some of it white, it was able to absorb more into the paper. Okay. Just continuing to add a couple of splatters here and there. I don't really remember where they are on the other page. I'm just kind of going off the reservation here. I probably can't say that. Okay. That's what my grandpa always said to me. Okay. And used a little bit more red this time than pink, but that's okay. Nice thing about the stencil is it's meant to be a splatter, so if you don't use the whole part that you are using, it doesn't look bad if you miss part of it. So using a sponge through this one is pretty easy. Let me just get a little bit down here and then I'll move on. Okay. There we go. Okay. Good to go. Put that up there. Give this a little bit of a dry just because I'm going to be writing on top of it. So I don't want it to move on me too much. Now this one is definitely brighter than the page that I had done prior. So I probably needed to add a little bit more mist, but that's okay. It's very similar, and you're definitely getting the technique down. Okay. For my lettering, you can see that I used a stencil and then I just wrote the word art because it is an art journal and there's nothing wrong with anyone's handwriting. I don't care what you say. If you hate your handwriting, you don't hate your handwriting. There's nothing wrong with your handwriting. Mine's horrible, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It's my art journal. I don't care. It should have my handwriting in it. And yours should have yours in it. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox, but I'm just letting you know your art journal should have your handwriting in it. Okay. Now that one's a little bit wet. I don't want to put my stencil on it and make it a mess. So. Okay. Now, not all of these words are on the stencil, but all of these letters are. So sometimes you just got to be a little creative with what you have. So we're going to go ahead and use the word create. I could have used the paste for this, but again, I didn't want to add any real thick dimension to this. Stone Effects would have worked great for this. A velvet would have worked great for this. But just for the sake of time, I just went ahead and used a marker. Okay, because I wanted it to dry in time for me to use a white pen on top of it. Okay. So just stenciling out my word, create. Okay, and then back to this stencil, TikTok, and going to use the time. Black leather jacket would actually look really cool now that I'm thinking about this with the sparkle. That would look pretty cool. I should go back and do that now that I'm thinking of that. I don't know, maybe we'll add something in. Create time. Now this is where we get a little creative. So I'm going to use the F in friends. Oh, see, it's already different. Oh, well. So the F in friends and the OR in color. Okay. And I think I did a cursive one there, but it's already different, so we'll do a different A today. Okay. Okay. Alrighty then. And just a little bit of a white pen. Oh, don't want to use that paper for scratch paper. Let's see if I can get this. Might have to use my other one. Might have to dig one out. Not really going over the whole thing. Let me make sure this is good and dry. That's the one problem with trying to do an art journal all in one sitting. You really want your paint and your ink to be dry before you start doing and adding your doodling. Because that's usually where your problem comes in, is your pen just doesn't want to write on that wet paint. I'm actually using a gel pen. It's a souffle gel pen. I'm just doing that right now because I know that if I hit it with heat, it'll pop up and you guys will be able to see it. I'm just outlining this very roughly using a lot of doodle scratches. I'm just trying to make the letters pop, but I didn't want to just trace them, so a couple scratch marks, hashtags, just roughing it in. There's nothing about this page that says I'm all in control of this page, so there's no reason why the lettering needs to be. Okay, you can see once you hit it with the heat, the white definitely starts to pop a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to outline the letters up here at the top. Now, you know, I could try to keep this very neat, very tidy, but honestly, I don't have that steady of a hand. It's one of the reasons why I don't do a lot of actual painting, where I like to, I can't keep the really straight lines, and my hand shakes a little bit. So for me, it's best just to do a little bit of a squiggle, and it's just who I am. Okay, almost done here. Actually took way less time than I thought it was going to. So I'm not sure what I should do here. If I should continue on to another page or what. I should go yell at my children. I know that. Okay. Oh, I ran my hand right across the top of that one there. We'll add a little bit of black in there because okay. Okay, and that's it. Pretty quick page. That's where the stencil is pushed into the paint with the heat gun. A little bit of texture there from the sponge painting. The different colors blended together with using the credit card. Some open white space. And there we go. That's it. So original. Well, I guess I could do some more stenciling. Kind of like the way it's actually turned out though. So we're going to leave it. We got done a little bit early tonight, but we're a little light on the chatty side tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and next week we have Phyllis. She'll be on a bit earlier in the day. I believe it's about 12 o'clock it's 12 o'clock her time, so it's about 10 o'clock my time. So 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'm pretty sure, and about 12 o'clock is 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I'm not sure what time that is anywhere else, but it's a much earlier time for us, but we do have she has a beautiful layout prepared for you guys, and I know that you will totally enjoy it. So we'll see you next week, and have a great week. I hope you get some ink on your hands. Okay, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.